Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you are doing good and your preparation for the exam is going on in full swing. Today is 14th March and we assigned this day for the revision of the chapter 3, that is working with function. So without further delay, let's get started. You know what is function, right? It is a set of instructions which perform specific tasks. The main advantage of function is reusability. You can reuse the code in the main program. Here is the general format to write a function. First we will be writing the keyword def followed by the name of the function. It will be an identifier. If we are passing the parameters to the function, we will be writing here. Otherwise it will be empty brackets. We will be writing the set of statements in the function. So for that we will be creating block using colon. Alright, let's consider one simple example of function. MSG is the name of the function that we have written followed by the keyword def, and here are the empty parameters as we are not passing any parameter to it. Don't forget to write colon. The statement inside the block will be at the different indentation level. In the function we are printing one message, welcome. Make sure you are well familiar with the syntax of the function because you will be getting question in which you need to find out the errors which will be based on function. Here is one more example in which we are passing the parameters to the function. Here sum is the function name and xy are the parameters. The set of statement which we write in the function, it is generally called as body of the function. Actually, function is a sub-program. So, if you want to pass some value back to the main, that we will be doing using return statement. How to do it? That we will be discussing in this video. While defining a function, the first line of the function is called as function header, in which we write the keyword def and it is followed by the colon. So, this is nothing but the function header. Here also, this is the function header. Now you know how to define a function, but function is a subprogram. Then how it will get executed? For that we need to call that function in the main program. Alright, then let's check out how to call a function. We will be writing function call statement and the format is like this. We need to write the function name and the parameters which we need to pass to the function. With the example, we will check out how to call the function message which we have created. We will be writing the name of the function followed by the brackets. Here is the function call statement for the second type of function which we have created. The name of the function followed by the parameter list in the bracket. 10 will get passed to x and 20 will get passed to y. Here we are calculating and passing back the result to the main function that we are printing using print statement. If you want to collect that return statement in some variable, that also you can do it. Later we are printing it. So to execute function, you need to call it in the main program. Moving ahead, we are going to discuss one more important topic related to function, that is arguments and parameters. You will be getting question in the form of differentiate between actual parameters and formal parameters. So what are arguments? Arguments are the values which we pass from the function call statement. So in this case we will call 10 and 20 as actual arguments, or simply we can call it as a argument also. Then what are parameters? We are passing some values to the function. So the variables which will receive that values are called as parameters, or we can call it as a formal parameters too. If you are getting confused between arguments and parameters, just keep in mind one of these two. The variables in the function header are parameters. Then ultimately arguments will be the values or variables which we are passing from the function call statement. We know function we use to perform specific task. You can easily understand this concept with one example, the way electrician and carpenter does their specific job. But they will come to your home when you will call it. In the same way, we call the functions also from the main program. Let's assume that I want carpenter to do some furniture work for me. But I want the carpenter to use the material which I am providing to him. In the same way, we will be passing the value to the function from the main program. So there are three ways in which we can pass value to the function. The first one is positional argument. In case of positional argument, we must provide the values for all the parameters. You can see here there are two parameters, that's why we are passing true values. The values of the argument will get matched to the parameters according to the position. Here is one function to calculate the simple interest. There are 3 parameters. That's why there are 3 arguments too. 1000 will get initialized to P, 5 will get initialized to T and 8.5 will get initialized to R. We are calculating the result and returning back to it, that we are accepting in one variable and getting printed. We can conclude from our discussion that in case of positional argument, we have to pass values for all the parameters. We cannot skip any one. Moving ahead to the second type of argument, it is called as default argument. In this case, we can provide some default value for the parameters in the function header. Here there are 3 parameters and we are providing default value for the z. Now look at the function call. In the first function call, we are passing only 2 values. So 2 will get initialized to x and 3 will get initialized to y. We are not providing value for z, then 10 will get considered for z. Now look at the second function call. We are passing 3 values. What does it mean? It is the value of x, 3 will get initialized to y and 4 will get initialized to z. If we pass specific values, that will get initialized. If we don't pass, default value will get considered. One point we can note down for this type of argument, the default argument should be at the last. We cannot specify the default argument in the beginning or somewhere else also. It should be at the last only. So here is the note. Required parameter should be before the default parameters. That's why in the function header we have specified this default argument at last. Here is the third type of the parameter. It is known as keyword or named parameter. In this case, when we call the function, we will be passing the value with their name. That's why it is called as named parameter. Look at this statement, x equals to 10 and y is equals to 20. We are specifically mentioning the name of the variable along with the value. So when it will get passed, it will go to x only and y will go to y. In this case, we pass the parameter using name itself. So we can change the order too. Though we are writing y in the beginning, but the value of y will go to y and the value of x will go to x itself. Hope you understood all 3 types of passing parameters. To perform specific task, we are using function. Then after performing that task, the value will get returned to the main program. So for returning the value, we will be using return statement that we are going to consider now. How to return value from the function. But it is not compulsory. Function may or may not return the value that we are going to study now. So consider the first one where the function is returning some value to the main program. For that we will be using return statement. Here is the syntax. The keyword return followed by the value. It can be variable or constant. Look at the example. Here we are passing directly one constant and in the second example we are passing one variable. Along with that constant or variable, even we can pass expression directly like x plus y, or you can even use the constant. So here is our usual and the simplest example. In this example, we are calling the function and passing 2 values to the function. Function calculated the result and we are returning it to the main program that we are accepting in one variable and printing it. You can see here, to return value to the main program, we use return statement. In this way, function returns the value to the main program. Just like this, I called the carpenter and asked him to make study table for me. For that material also I provided to him. Then he worked on it and gave back that study table to me. Now let's try to understand the case in which function is not returning any value to the main program. Look at this example. Here we are calling some function and passing 2 arguments to the function. Function worked on it, but it is not returning value to the main program. Here itself we are printing the result. Let's try to understand with the same carpenter example. I called the carpenter and asked him to make the study table for me. He made it but did not give back to me. Okay, let him keep with him. This is a bad example, but you understood the concept, right? Now look at the another example. We are calling one function here and just printing one message. Look at this function. There is no return statement. Still I am accepting the value of that function in one variable, and when I will try to print it, what I will get? I will get none. So from this what we can conclude? Python returns none though the function is not returning any value. The function which doesn't return anything is called as void function. So based on the different criteria, whether we are passing the argument or returning it back or not, here are the 4 possible combinations of the function. What's the first category? Void means function is not returning any value. Non-void means function will return value. This category got divided into another 2 categories, without argument or with argument. Without argument means what? We are not passing any argument to the function. With argument means we are passing the argument. So we are not passing argument and not getting back anything. We are passing the argument but not getting anything. Whereas come to the second category, non-void function means it is returning the value. For this also it is got divided into same 2 categories, without argument and with argument. So what's this combination is? Without argument means we are not passing argument, still we are getting back some value. And with argument means we are passing the argument and getting it back something. Now let's write the functions for these 4 different types of categories. The first is void function without argument. Without argument means we are not passing anything to the function. That is fine. Now come to the function definition. Not passing parameter, so not accepting anything. Not accepting anything means function will take its own values. We initialize a and b, calculated something and printing it here itself. Why? Because we are not passing any value to the main function, because it is a void function. Now relate this example to carpenter. I called the carpenter and asked him to make study table for me. For that I did not give any material to the carpenter. Got his own material and he made the study table and he kept with him. Now you will ask me, then why I called the carpenter? Makes no sense, I know, but try to understand this type of function using the example. Now look at the second type of function. Void means not returning anything. What's the second criteria? With argument. Here is the function call. With argument means we are passing some values to the function. So 10 got initialized to A, 20 got initialized to B. In function we are calculating something. You know this is a type of void function, means not returning anything. So we are printing the result here itself. Okay, now it's time to relate to our carpenter example. I called the carpenter and asked him to make study table. Even I provided material to the carpenter to make study table. He made it but did not give back to me. So this is a case of cheating, right? Hope you understood from this example what we are trying to do exactly here. Let's erase everything and move ahead to the next category. Now we are in the non-void function. Non-void means we will return some value to the main program. But look at the subcategory. Here we are not passing any argument to the function. Look at the example. We are not passing any argument. It means function will take its own value. Perform some calculation and it is a non-void function, means we need to return value. That we are accepting one variable. That we are accepting in one variable and printing it. Now it's time to call carpenter. I called the carpenter and asked him to make study table. In this case, I am not providing any material to the carpenter. So carpenter will get his own material. He made the study table and gave back to me. Time to check out the last category, non-void with argument. Non-void means you know it will return some value but with argument. With argument means we are passing some value to the function. 10 will get passed to A, 20 will get passed to B. Some calculation is performed in the function and returning the value because it is a non-void function. The returned value is getting accepted in a variable and we are printing it. It's time to relate the function example with our carpenter example. In this case, we are providing material to the carpenter. So we provided it. Carpenter worked on it and created study table. That study table he returned back to me. Oh, finally we got some real life example which is working fine. Now we are going to discuss one more important concept related to function, that is scope. The variables which we declare inside the function are called local variables, and the variables which will be in the main program will be global variables. Local variables are accessible only in the function, so it has a local scope. Means these variables are accessible only within this block. You cannot access this outside the block. But n1 and n2 are local variables. It is accessible throughout the program. Even you can access it within the block. So we understood both the type of scope. The first is global and the second is local. The variables with the global scope can be accessible throughout the program, but the variables with the local scope will be confined to the particular block. If we look at this example, this str is a local variable. That's why if you will try to print it outside the function, you will get the error because it existed only within this block. There is no existence of this string variable outside the block. In function, this scenario may exist that local variable and the global variable is having same name. Look at this example. In the main program we have str variable, even in the function we have str variable. If you will try to access str within the block, the local variable will get priority. But what if I want to access this global variable inside the block? Then we will use global keyword along with that variable. Note this statement, global str. Global str means we are trying to access this global variable inside the block. If you will try to access the str variable without global keyword, then it will give priority to this local variable. This is also one of the important concept of function. You will be getting question of this form. If there are variable with the same name, then how the scope resolution will work? So there is a rule. It is called as LEGB rule. Local variable will get priority, then the enclosed, after that global variables, and then the built-in variables. We know what are local variables which are defined within the function. The E is for enclosed, means it is in the nested function concept, followed by global, which is at the uppermost level, means throughout the program it works. Finally we have B, means built-in, reserved names in the built-in modules, means the variables which we have created in the module. For now we will consider only two, local and global. So priority will be given to the local variables, then to the global variables. Moving ahead to the next important topic, that how we can pass immutable type to a function and mutable type to a function. First let's consider immutable type. You know what is immutable data type. We cannot change the content in place. If you will try to change, new variable will get created. Immutable data types are numbers, string and tuple. Here we are considering one number to understand the concept how to pass immutable data type. What will happen when we will pass immutable data type to function? Any changes in its value will also change the memory address it is referring to. What does it mean? Let's try to understand with one example. Here is a one integer type variable number. Now we call the function 1 and passing value to n. Number is a reference to a value 10 with some memory address. It is passed to the variable n. Now new variable got created. Inside the function we are updating the value of the n by 5. 10 plus 5 will be 15. In the function itself, we are printing it. So we will be getting the output in function value equals to 15. Now come back to the main program. In main, we are printing in main value equals to num. Look at the output. In main we are getting 10. Why? Because num is a different variable and n is a different variable. We updated the value of n, but the value of num is same, 10. It did not get changed because in case of immutable data type, we cannot change the content in place. New variable will get created. But what if we pass mutable type to a function? Let's consider one mutable data type, that is list. Try to understand this concept with example. We have initialized one list. With the print statement, we are printing the list, so we will get this message. After that, we are calling the function and passing list to the function. In the function, we are trying to update the value at the index 0. Look at the original list. It is 10, 20, 30. Now we are updating the first element with 15. After updating the element, we are printing it. Look at the second output. In function, the list is 15, 20, 30. 10 got updated to 15. Now we will come back to the main program. After changing the element in the main, again we are printing the list. Look at the output now. Whatever changes we have done, it is reflected back to main. Because in case of mutable data type, we can change the content in place, means at the same memory address we are changing the content. That's why the changes will reflect back to main. So this is the difference between passing immutable data type and mutable data type. In case of immutable data type, the changes will not reflect back to main, but in case of mutable data type, changes will reflect back to main. Hey, that was all about working with functions. Hope you have understood all the concept. In case of any doubt, let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and do share with your friends. In the next video, we will be solving previous year questions based on functions. So stay tuned, stay confident and keep studying. I will see you in the next video.